Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Marriage, Money, and Mindset. We are your hosts. I'm Jared.
And I'm Alexis.
And welcome back. We are at episode 29. Episode 29 of Marriage, Money, and Mindset. Let's go over some announcements before we kick this episode off. So, this channel, Marriage, Money, and Mindset, we do it to be resourceful. That's our goal for this channel on giving advice on those three topics, which is marriage, money, and mindset. So, we are 29 episodes in. 29 episodes in on our channel. This is our YouTube channel. We also are on TikTok now, and what's the other? Instagram. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, and obviously we're on YouTube as well. So to the existing subscribers, we appreciate y'all returning. To the new subscribers, we appreciate y'all. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you click on that subscribe button on your screen. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Every Monday at 5 p.m. we drop new footage. We drop new content. Again, pertaining to those three topics of discussion, marriage, money, and mindset. So we are at episode 29, Hershey. Yeah. Talk to the people. Let them know what we're doing today.
All right. As you guys can see, we have our lovely friends with us, Tamika and Mark McLester. Yeah. So the way that we met, little backstory, was from one of the Marriage Club on Facebook. You guys know we've mentioned them before, but the Marriage Club escapes. Right. We met in Punta Cana. So that was the very first retreat for us and for you guys too, right?
Yeah. Correct.
It's our long lost family right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, and we've been going strong ever since. Yeah, so never gonna stop.
Right. So we currently actually in Houston right now. They came down from Atlanta, Georgia. That's where we met them. Well, we met them in Punta Cana, like Hershey just mentioned. Hung out at the Marriage Club retreat. Became great friends with these people. This is a great group of people right here. We love these people. This is our family, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, long lost family. They live in Atlanta, Georgia. We kicked it in December for the Christmas party as well. Yep. Then we got to kick it again at this previous retreat in Jamaica. Yep. And now we kicking it again. Now we live in H-Time, you know what I'm saying? We all here, you know what I'm saying? We've been, having a great time, man. We hit up some brunch this morning. You know what I'm saying? They came down. We got in last night. You know, had some cigars and, you know, just been a good time. We just lounging out. We just relaxing and kicking. And obviously, we're doing this episode for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So today's topic of discussion is going to be about longevity in the marriage, guys. So, you know, me and Hershey, we just hit our 6-year anniversary last month. They're coming up on their
20th.
20 years in the game, 2 decades. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a lot of wisdom.
Most definitely. So, you know, what we want to do today is talk about that. Like, what's the ways of having that longevity in your marriage. Because, you know, like for instance, like we're in 6 years, you know, so there's wisdom that we have 6 years of wisdom, but compared to their 20 years of wisdom, they have way more wisdom that they could share for us, right? And that's what we want to, get out there and help, other people, get out of, anybody who has something that they can share, like that's basically what this channel is all about, guys, by the way. We love getting information out of people, just picking people's brains, you know what I'm saying? Shorten the learning curve, you know what I'm saying?
It's a two-way learning that we experience. We learn from you guys as well. We have 20 years in the game, but at the same time, it's nothing that we can't learn from somebody else.
Correct.
There you go. Exactly.
It's sharing.
Exactly.
We're all in this together.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so look, what we're going to do today, guys, we're going to talk about longevity in the marriage. So what we have 5 questions that we're going to ask our guests, maybe even a bonus question. Hershey, Hershey love coming with the bonus questions. So we're going to kick this episode off, guys, okay? So look, again, this is Marcus and Tamika, okay? So let me ask y'all a question real fast. So when it comes to longevity in your marriage, what do you believe has been the key to longevity in y'all's marriage? You can start it off, Marcus.
Well, the key for me is commitment, communication, and a dedication. Everyone knows that marriage is work. Mm-hmm. It's what you put in is what you're going to get out of it.
Right.
So as you go to work, do your 9 to 5, when you get off work, you think your day is over with, it's starting all over again. Because once you get home, you got to deal with your marriage. Mm-hmm. You can't put that on the back burner. You got to put your marriage, first, and make that a priority in your life if you want a healthy and successful marriage, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day, is creating a healthy and happy marriage that will provide longevity.
Okay.
Very good.
I come from a long line of married people. So my grandparents on both sides did over 50 years.
Wow.
Actually 60. My parents just celebrated they're actually approaching their 51st year. So
You need to get them on the channel.
we do. Yeah. They can tell you some stories. But
Oh, yeah.
you know, when we made the decision to commit to one another, it also came with the foundation of what they had provided, what they have shown. So the familial piece, meaning our family, the commitment we had to one another, and then the commitment that we had to demonstrating blending a family to our sons and then raising a child together, putting that whole family component together really helped to seal not just a commitment to one another, but we had something to demonstrate to other people as well.
Right.
And that was just as important in ensuring that he and I were successful, in ensuring that we wanted our children to have the same type of stability
Okay.
that I had witnessed or I had seen in my family growing up over the years. And you know, I went into it. I didn't realize, you know, we're 20 years later, but you blink your eyes, where has the time gone?
Yeah.
You know, you've been in this for 20 years, and you know, I don't think I could have chosen a better partner to build with,
Yeah.
and to grow with, because he helped me grow up in a lot of areas, and we grew with one another.
Yeah. Together.
And together. Yeah, he pushed me in some ways that I didn't want to be pushed, but you know, it helped us move to different levels. So you can value that part in your partner. I think that really has sealed the deal in terms of how we have made this longevity work.
Right.
I just want to add one more thing to it. As she was talking, that one of the key things come to mind when it comes to longevity is building a friendship.
Yeah.
Becoming friends can really prolong your marriage.
Yep.
Because when we look at marriage, we just think of your significant other as your husband or your wife, but in true sense, they're your friends.
You gotta be your friend first.
If you can make it your best friend,
That's what I was gonna say.
that
If not
was
your best friend.
right. That's the ultimate goal. If you reach that, it would definitely prolong, your marriage. And one more thing, that everybody heard this slogan that marriage is for the weak. That's a true statement. You know, if you really think this is going to be an easy journey, you got a long road ahead of you.
Yeah. And another thing, to piggyback off Tamika, you said you come from a long line of marriage. But for everybody that's watching, even if you didn't come from a long line of marriage, or you didn't have that example, you can learn from anything. You can learn what to do and what not to do. So, I mean, I didn't have the best examples for marriage going down the line in my family, but I mean,
learning points though.
right. I learned what I want and what I don't want from that.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. No, same thing. That's same thing. What you just mentioned. Listening to y'all's answer to that question that we asked. That's the exact same thing I was mentioning. Like, we've had these discussions before too. Like, we talked about that. We can also learn what we don't want based on what somebody's. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody's doing something or performing a certain way, and it's not right, you can still learn from that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
We had that. We had the legacy of I had the legacy of my grandparents, but you know, we're a blended family.
There you go.
My grandparents know nothing about blended families. My parents knew nothing about a blended family. So there were still some learning lessons and curves we had to take on our own.
Okay.
And that journey was for real, because at the best intentions with blending a family can always, it still can present its own challenges.
Gotcha.
So we had to learn how to use the foundation of our friendship to not let some of those challenges take over or be triumphant in us looking for that longevity. And I will say, you know, my husband has he's my leg, he's the rock sometimes, and you know, he's the stone that is not gonna be moved.
Yeah.
Whereas he calls me the Gemini, and I might change my mind. Shut up. I might change my mind from day in to day. I'm from day to day. But he is the stone and the commitment to really look at what does it mean for our family if we make these changes.
Gotcha.
In a good way and in a bad way. Yeah. So he is the stone that will not be moved and really says, yeah, we go figure this ish out and make it work.
Okay. I got you. That's what's up, man. Love it. Love that. I'm going to let Hershey kick off the second one for y'all.
Okay, so the second one is, can you guys share any memorable challenges that you've overcome together and how they strengthen your bond?
Choose one.
Definitely, yeah. we can have another segment for this. Say this one,
just one,
this one question right here. But the one that most come to my mind is we was raised in different religions.
Okay.
And the religion she was raised in was totally unfamiliar to me, and it did have an impact on a marriage where people thought that we shouldn't be together because of
unequally yoked.
No, because of our different beliefs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was supposed to be a Gentile that I should not have stayed with. So
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
should not have been
So
with.
it poses a lot of challenges in our marriage, but at the same time, it made us stronger. To prove that our love for each other, they was wrong.
What's bigger than other people's opinion?
Right.
And we look back on it and we overcame it because it was times where I did wanted to give up because I just couldn't deal with that aspect, of her life. It was the differences in it, and the things that we couldn't do as a married couple. I just didn't understand it, but it was a true test of time between us. We overcame it, and it actually made us come together and made us stronger.
Yeah. Do you guys remember, what was a turning point, or how did you overcome that challenge?
She left. She changed. She understood where she didn't believe in what she was taught.
Okay.
It was President Obama, believe it or not, his second inauguration. We took the kids to the inauguration, and I had the intention of showing him some of the beliefs, history at the Smithsonian Institute, and couldn't find it. And when I couldn't find it, I'm like, there's no way I can't find this. It has to be here, because I'm trying to pull him into the organization by showing him the things at the Smithsonian. And when I couldn't find it, I came back and started doing my research to try to figure out why I couldn't find it. And the more I researched, the more open my eyes became to something that I had been raised in since I was, 3 or 4 years old. So it's really all I knew all my life. Right. And the more I dug, the less I found to substantiate the organization. And I had to deal with my own internal fears and my own unthinking a belief that I just knew to be true.
Right.
Yeah.
Relearning a new way of life. So when I finally it was scary.
Yeah.
And when I was finally ready to have that conversation with him and tell him, he was peeping it. He saw that my schedule was getting a little bit more looser and we were doing more things together. I was not going as rigidly as I was before. And when I finally opened up and shared with him everything, he could have threw me a party because he was thrilled. Like, finally, I get my wife. But it just took me unlearning some things, or everything that I thought to be true. And then embracing a life that I had been told I should not, be harnessing too much joy out of because it wouldn't be here. So the more I started to share with him about some of the crazy things I believe, I guess he was like, well, damn, that makes sense why you crazy, Do
y'all remember at what point of your marriage that was?
About 10 years ago, so halfway to where we are right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had to juggle between, because I was raised in Baptist, where I grew up with Santa Claus and all the things that we endure for as holidays and things of that nature. And when we met, she didn't do no holidays.
No holidays, no birthdays.
No birthdays. So that was a difference to me to understand, the reason why she didn't and how we go about doing things as far as how I was raised.
Yeah.
But I was able to adapt to it because the love that I had for her overcame that, and I oversee that. Okay, these things don't justify the love I got for you. It's not. It shouldn't make or break how I truly feel about you as a person,
Right.
and as my wife. But it's still things I wanted to do. I wish that we can do together, but that's a sacrifice that I had to make, because I love this woman.
And his mother, my mother-in-law, my mother-in-law was amazing. And I didn't realize she was working with me about it. I didn't want to celebrate Christmas, but she said, okay, well, we'll do it Christmas Eve. I was like, good. Christmas Eve, that's great. Okay, yeah, that made me feel a little bit more comfortable. And then I'm buying my kids gifts and I'm watching them open the gifts. And it's like, wow, these are really, they're enjoying this. Why am I stealing this joy from them? And then he took me on a cruise. And the belief I was going to this organization 3 times a week. So we were not supposed to miss any sessions 3 times a week faithfully. Yeah. Then he takes me on a 7-day cruise. And I'm terrified the whole time we were gone, but it was such a beautiful experience. I'm sitting on the ocean in Haiti, looking straight down to the bottom of the ocean. And it's clear. I'm like, why would the Creator not want me to experience this? Yeah. This is a vacation for him, but for me, I'm having different thoughts. Like, this is the Creator's creation. Why would he not want me to see this? Yeah. Or she not want me to see this? This beautiful experience. Right. And, all these things are just churning in my mind. And my mother-in-law, he sent me and her on trips together. We would go on cruises together, go out of town together. And every time, we had a great time together, but she was working with me without me knowing that she was working on me. And that was, when it was time for me to completely come out of that space and embrace our family life, it was easy to do, but it was a hard adjustment. But she was so welcoming and so, laying the red carpet out. We in the kitchen making sweet potato pies together. That seems small to some people, but we making sweet potato for Thanksgiving. Yeah. That was the first time for me. Right. And she pulled out recipes and we in the kitchen and, we just had making those memories. My nieces to this day, when it's time for Thanksgiving, they look for us to pull out the recipes that we were playing around with, when we had her, blessed to have her with us. So, yeah, it was, we went, that was a big one. Now, we could lay the red carpet out about a couple of more, but, that really was, that was a long one for us to get through.
I just want to comment. It's interesting y'all chose that because we actually did an episode recently on that. Remember we talked about values and beliefs going into a marriage. And sometimes couples don't have these conversations prior to actually becoming married.
Correct.
So that could be some advice, guys, just to, consider maybe potentially even having these types of conversations prior to marriage. Going into the marriage, you have an understanding at least. And like they mentioned, it's something that you can, get through. Like, I mean, even if you get through, like to me, I feel like it just kind of, exactly, right. Going into it, it's just an important topic of discussion to have, your values and beliefs. If you haven't seen that episode, by the way, go back and check it out. I believe it was relationship values that we did. Was that the name of the episode?
Yeah, maybe 2 weeks.
Oh, values in a marriage. Values in a marriage. That's what we discussed, that particular subject. So just go back and check it out, guys.
He knew ahead of time what he was getting into.
Okay.
But, don't let your difference in beliefs stop what you feel in your heart.
True that. Right.
And give it time.
Yeah.
Give each other the chance.
There you go.
Because I thought I can change it because I was like, all we doing finna go to my grandma, eat some collard greens, some hams, eat some turkey on Thanksgiving. Like what? Yeah. We ain't finna talk about the Mayflower or Pilgrims, Indians and things of that nature. I said, We just
Yeah.
going to eat and be around family.
Yeah, oh,
That's
yeah.
it. And so I didn't understand it. So I knew, but I thought, you know what I'm saying, I can kind of change her.
I got you.
You know, just get her to see it was about family
Right.
more than about the holiday itself.
Bad. Understand. All right, so we're gonna keep it moving. We got another question for y'all. So back to episodes we previously done. So this particular question is gonna pertain to intimacy. So most people when they hear intimacy, they automatically go straight to the physical, but there's other aspects of it, right? Interesting enough to know. Like I remember when we was on a retreat in Jamaica, we actually talked about intimacy as well.
Yeah.
We talked about it with the group. So let's talk more about intimacy. So I have a question for y'all. So how do y'all prioritize and maintain intimacy and connection in your relationship? And it can be emotional, physical, if y'all want to talk about it, intellectual, spiritual, or experiential. That's a new one that we discovered, experiential intimacy. So again, one more time, how do you prioritize and maintain intimacy and connection in your relationship?
On the first and most part, we date. We make sure we prioritize and we have date nights. We spend the quality time together away from work, away from kids, away from our friends, away from our family, and dedicate time for us to really connect. It can be when people think about date night, they just think about dinner. You know, it can be various things. Whatever you two enjoy doing, if it's the movies, if it's just going to the park and just going to sit down at the bench. And we do all kinds of things. We went axe throwing.
That's something I want to try about.
It's fun, bro. It's fun.
Oh yeah.
It's fun. You can release tension and have fun at the same time.
Okay.
The painting.
Painting. We love to go like the shows, like listen to live music, concerts, or any type of thing that we can just really enjoy each other. But when it comes to the physical aspect of it, we have to be open-minded. We got to make sure that both parties are satisfied, understanding what each one needs, and making sure that we're meeting them needs. And sometimes we take that for granted, thinking that we are doing our part and not really communicating and asking your partner, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, what is it?
You know, what do you need, you know what I'm saying, from me? Am I providing, everything that you need, not only mental, you know what I'm saying, physical. And I think if we just some people, it's hard to sit down and ask them questions like, "Hey, how am I in bed? Am I really doing what I need to do?
satisfying you,
Am
your
I really
needs.
satisfying you?" And that's a taboo topic for some people where, it should already be known. But if you're not really telling your partner exactly what you need and what you want, it can kind of go on the radar. And while you thinking you're providing them needs, you're really not.
I did that.
Yeah, intimacy is about vulnerability. It's about connection and always being willing to learn. One thing we learned from this past retreat is naked moments.
Yeah.
And we have, those are the opportunities we take. Okay, I got to put it all on the table. I got to go naked in front, not physically or whatever, but I got to emotionally be naked and vulnerable to you. And that naked moment allows us to have really deep, connected conversation, which is strong. It helps build the foundation and re-solidify what you already have. But having those naked moments to be extremely vulnerable with one another, and then providing the safe place for your partner to express their vulnerabilities. So my vulnerabilities are not weapons for you in the future. That's not a bullet for you to put in the chamber how you go use later on. Those vulnerabilities, when he opens up to me, now as his wife, it's my responsibility to ensure he is protected in whatever that open space that whatever he just opened up about. I have to protect that emotion in him and ensure that that environment is fostered for him to be able to do that again, and vice versa, without judgment, without fear. that connective intimacy, it speaks to your emotional intelligence, it speaks to your physical connection, it speaks to, hot and heavy in the bedroom, it spreads everywhere. It speaks to that friendship, it speaks to, you being that best friend. That's that connection. It is.
Yeah.
That's the KPIs, the key performance indicators. How well your relationship is going to work is when you have that safe, vulnerable, connected friendship base that leads to everything else.
I want to add to that. 'Cause this can be like a 2-part question, because you can ask someone who just newly married that question, and the fire's there.
Oh yeah.
So it's like Jackrabbit on you.
Yeah.
Just it's
Honeymoon phase.
it's
Yeah.
love everywhere.
Right.
But when you get somebody like us who's been 20 years in the game, who probably done everything,
Right.
you got to find ways to keep that fire going.
Yeah.
You got to, you got to find different ways. I go back to where you got to understand your partner.
Oh yeah.
You got to, and
Because I'm sure
that's
you guys are not the same Tamika and Marcus
Correct.
that met 20 years ago.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Y'all have
It's
changed
new,
and evolved.
right,
So
and
you got to keep relearning your partner.
exactly.
Like, I think I told you, Alexis, about Miss Rita.
Yes.
She is it Miss, yeah, it's Miss Rita.
think so.
She creates her and her husband at 60 plus years old, if not older.
Yeah.
Create the most exciting intimate moments that I have seen,
Yeah.
in a couple
Videos.
that age. And they are really inspirational. So it's taught me, okay, I need to play more games with him, play with his mind a little bit
Spice
more.
it up.
Spice it up. Yeah, they can still
fun.
do it. I remember
fun
watching
going.
my grandma read. I saw my grandma read an Ebony magazine. This is years ago. I think it was in the 80s, but it was Sex After 60, and I was like, "Ugh, grandma, what you doing? Ugh."
Grandma still get it in.
But she was saying, "Baby, it still work. Ain't nothing wrong with me over here." So that stuck with me. But I see why you got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Don't nobody want to fall asleep, and when it's, you don't want that intimacy to die. That's
Right.
gonna kill your relationship right there. But it's not just physical. Again, it's physical, it's emotional, it's the vulnerability, it's the safety net.
Yeah.
Love it. So,
Okay.
next one.
Yeah, I'm going to skip this one.
Okay.
Okay. So the next one is, how do you guys support each other's individual growth and your personal development within the context of your marriage?
That is a very important question when it comes pertaining to marriage, especially longevity marriage, because you got to be your spouse's biggest supporter, biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
Whatever endeavors that he or she choose to do, you got to be supportive. They got to feel that support.
That's a big part.
Big part of it, and whatever they do. So I'm her biggest champion. I'm her biggest cheerleader. Whatever she does, I'm gonna be there, rooting her on, supporting her, whatever she needs to do. And that means where supporting is not only, well, hey, baby, good, I'm saying, that's a good job. But supporting is maybe you picking up slack to allow her growth to grow. Where if I gotta cook more, where she's working on a project or doing something, it's taking time away from the home. I gotta step in where she may be lacking and fill that void in order for her, to achieve whatever goal she's trying to achieve at that time.
That's a good point.
So, and I think it goes a long way. In marriage for someone to feel that support, because it goes both ways. But you got to support your spouse in any way you can, and supporting it as far as if you see your spouse doing a lot, you gotta take time out. Like, hey, look, baby, I got this.
Lighten that load.
I got this. You take a break. I see, how you going. I got this right now. while you go focus on something else right now. But I got you, and that's where you got to really pay attention to your partner and understand what's going on.
I dig that.
Yeah, I'm a project queen. I'm a Gemini, so I'm gonna switch it up. You try something different all the time.
Yeah.
Whether it's, my side hustles. He has helped me do everything from sell lingerie to, sell noni juice to I can't even think of all the things that I have done that, whether they were successful or unsuccessful, he's been right there with me.
Yeah.
I've recently decided to go back to school, work on my MBA. Our children are pretty much out the house at this point, so I know that's something I now have time to do. But when I was working on my bachelor's, again, he was the support system. Right. I have come home from work and the bathtub is full of hot water and bubble bath and, with rose petals everywhere because he know I had a hard day that day. Mm-hmm. Or, he will put me in bed with, y'all know it don't take but one glass of wine, but a glass of wine and a bottle of water. And, he brings me dinner and will shut the door because he knows I just worked really hard on a project and I need the break. He will, massage my back, my head, my feet, whatever it is. If he sees that I am really trying hard on something, he's there. So that in turn, I owe him the same. Right. When it's his turn, when it's something he wants to dig into, then, I owe him the support for whatever it is that he's going for, whether it be, a potential new job or, whatever it is. It is up to me to be his loudest cheerleader and champion and make sure that he is mentally fortified when he goes to tackle whatever project that he's working on at that time.
Yeah.
Love that. Slow,
But
man.
one thing to add to that, as men, we got that pride, so we have that pride where we got everything. I'm gonna take care of you. Don't worry about me. Mm-hmm. But we got to get past that. We need our breaks ourselves, and if you have a woman, a spouse that's willing to be there and support you and help you get through it, you got to allow them to do it. Right. And for your own mental, mind, say this, you don't have to take on everything.
Yeah.
Leave them dishes in the sink sometime. It's gonna be all right.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be all right. We'll wash them clothes on the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
We out here working every day, hustling for the family. It'll get done when it get done. We'll be all right.
I like it. All right. So let's keep it moving. So look, this gonna be that bonus one we got for y'all, right? All right. So check this out. 20 years coming up on it, right? 21 together total.
Correct.
So check this out. So for the newlyweds, right? Our couples looking to build a long-term, lasting relationship. What advice would you give to the newlyweds or couples that's looking to build that, a long, lasting relationship? What advice would you give them?
The advice I would mainly give is that once that honeymoon phase get over and the realness begin, you can't get complacent. I think complacency is one of the biggest issues in marriage, and it will ruin a marriage because when you get complacent, you stop putting your spouse first. Mm-hmm. And when you start putting your spouse first, that's when the issues come. Mm-hmm. And I'm speaking from experience. Yeah. After 10 years, 15, you just kind of come home and you just think, okay, she ain't going nowhere, I ain't going nowhere, and you forget about putting them first. But longevity at times go on, it'll kind of snowball effect. These little issues because you don't really care like you did in the beginning.
Taking them for granted.
Taking the marriage for granted. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That it just to be here. Right. Always. So always put your spouse first through the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't care what's going on. Right. If you're gonna be married, be married. Mm-hmm. And I think deep down inside for each one, the husband and the wife, inside if you really want to be married or you just want the image of marriage.
Talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
And if you really want to be married, you'll put that work in to make that a happy and a healthy marriage, as we discussed.
This was up.
I'm gonna say friendship because we started off as friends, and then there were low points in our marriage where we weren't friends, and finding our way back to that friendship was important, was powerful. Us even meeting y'all is as a result of us being intentional about rebuilding our friendship and surrounding ourselves with like-minded couples that, I'm not accountable to, but I am.
Yeah.
So, me, Lexi, and some other friends, we have our wives discussions. And it's not a husband discussion, but it's strengthening one another. So our friendship is first, but then we have built a family of others who are, in this marriage thing together, good, bad, and ugly, working our way through it. And it's not gonna always be great every day. But when we are together, we re-strengthen one another. And I can think about the highest points of our relationship. It included talking. It included laughing. He really is a comedian. He just don't show it, but he can be funny at times. Funny as all get out. But we're laughing, we're talking, and we're just vibing. Just the two of us in our own world, in our own space. Nobody else understands the craziness that Mac Lester world creates. But those are our high points that we get back to, and then it can be infectious and contagious.
Yeah.
And on the outside, family and friends may see 20 years, but they don't know the blood, sweat, and tears that brought us to this 20 years. And it ain't all been a cloud of roses. It has not. But if you can have the foundation of a true friendship, I really do believe in friends before lovers. That's old school, but it's true school. Friends before lovers, because you're going to need that friendship to fall back on when you're dealing with trials and tribulations in your relationship, and life is gonna keep lifing. What does that friendship look like for you?
Love it.
One thing, I'm looking at this camera when I say this right here.
Talk to him. Talk to him.
Be careful who you talk to
Oh, yeah.
discussing your marriage.
Yeah.
Make sure you surround yourself with like-minded people who have the same goals and ambitions as you do. Because everyone you talk to about your marriage ain't good for you. So if you can, keep that circle small about your marriage, and only discuss it with people you really trust and who have your best interests. Because them people you think that your friends, sometimes they're not your friends, because everybody like to see some people down. When people up and they see you happy and they're not happy, they want to bring you in their space. So make sure you be careful who you discuss your marriage with.
That's a good
Hey.
one. That's a great way to end it.
That is, man. Everything y'all said was just on point, man. Like I'm up here taking mental notes. I'm gonna go back and rewatch the episode and actually jot it down so I can have it tangible, something I can access myself, man. I digged everything y'all said today, man. I loved it. Any comments you got to add? I loved
I
it.
feel like we can walk in their footsteps.
Yeah. Shit, we
And
coming
make
up
it
on
to-
20 years too, baby.
Y'all
got
gonna
it.
make it. Y'all gonna make it. I'll make it. Well, I want to give a shout out to y'all for this platform.
Yeah.
I
that, bro.
love
What
what y'all doing, and you have all our support.
Yeah.
Keep it up because it needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing. Like I say, we talked about it before. If this reached one person, if this changed one perspective in someone's marriage, anything that we said, this platform done its job. And these two have done their job by reaching out and helping and sharing the knowledge and the wisdom
For free.
for longevity, don't say in marriage. So kudos to y'all, man, and keep it up, you know. And we
Appreciate that.
and you have got our respect, you know, and it kind of and it make us want to make sure that we don't fail you,
Yeah.
you know, and making sure we keep this bond strong, and we willing to put that on our shoulders and carry.
Yeah.
Hey, man. That means a lot, bro.
That. Yeah, we
It
love
means a lot, for
y'all.
real. And that's why we do it. You know, that's the whole point of this channel is to do that. You know what I'm saying? Influence, be the example, you know, educate, etc. You know, that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? And
You
we
trying to
appreciate
help the
y'all.
culture. I appreciate you really are
Yeah.
contributing to the culture.
Oh, yeah,
You're
most
solidifying families. The spousal component of families, and then you're trying to help the families build their finances.
Right, exactly.
So
yeah, it's all
that's
important.
That's moving the argument out the way.
There you
You're
go.
fighting about
Exactly.
money because
Yeah.
you're teaching them how to build that generational wealth. That you hear people use those words. What does
Loosely.
that mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Y'all got the map
There you go.
to
Yeah.
make that stuff. I'm watching my language. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you good?
Get too comfortable.
Shay finna come out. That Gemini, I told y'all.
But you giving them
Yeah.
the foundation. How to
Yeah.
you removing so many obstacles if people just listen to the jewels
Right.
y'all dropping.
There you go.
Y'all dropping some nuggets out there.
Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate it. That's what it's
For
all
real.
about. Trying to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the thing. You know, we always said what we can give y'all is the seed. It's up to you to decide what you do with your seed.
Yeah.
You can take your seed, look at it, just set it on the table, not do anything.
Plant
Plant that seed, nurture it, care for it, and it's going to grow and blossom into something that's going to provide fruit for you to pick off of later down the road.
Yep.
So that's the whole point of this, guys. So, look, man, we appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for, you know what I'm saying, being our guest on our show. We love y'all,
Anytime.
man.
We love y'all.
Y'all family, man. That's all, you know, like I say, we found our long lost family, man. You know what I'm
Family
saying?
at this point. We
Yeah.
all in this together. Ain't no
Loving it,
going
man.
nowhere. Yeah,
That's
we
what's
all in
up.
this together.
Yeah. So, hey, guys, look, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Again, like and subscribe and comment below. We're going to be back next week for another episode. Anything else you want to add
Hit
before we
that
sign off?
notification bell, and if you heard something that was helpful to you and you think could benefit someone else, share this video as well.
There you go, guys. So, hey, we appreciate y'all. Y'all take care until next week. All right?
Peace.
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 All right.